Hey, so we have our airport here today, and it's finally done being built and it's done being moved around and just tore down and rebuilt back up. And just we didn't like the idea and just tear it back down and rebuild it back up. We're finally done doing that. We finally got to the way that we like it and the way that it works with the new addition to the city, which is this area right here. If you don't remember from our last video, this area was under construction and now it is completely filled out with our new harbor and baseball stadium over there. And we do have more in-depth videos of those two things. We will have the link for those videos in the description if you want to watch them, so you can go see those. But here we just have our airport tower. The airport tower is one of the things that didn't change at all throughout the entire construction of this airport. It didn't move at all. It moved. It just got slid over, and it didn't change at all. We didn't add anything to it. Didn't take anything from it. It just stayed the same because we liked it how it was. We think our airport tower is one of the better things of this airport. And the security box, which is this yellow building right next to it, that just got moved back a little more so it fits with the road better and actually kind of protects it. Another thing we added right here that wasn't there before was the fence that is right in front of the airport tower right here. That's just there to help keep cars from rolling out into the runway or planes rolling out into the road. I mean, it's not going to do much versus a plane, but it's better than nothing. And over here, the general aviation area, which is just this little grass strip here, it hasn't changed much either. We still have the same amount of space for it. It's just this area where all the guys with the little planes can park their aircraft without having to worry about the big planes running into them. And we still have our little fuel pump here for the little planes and their little storage area for all the cargo that they're shipping off. And of course their parking spots. Down at the end of the runway we have our little our radar tower. That's just going to help the tower out a little more because they have a little more range. And the runway didn't change at all. It hasn't been touched. It's still the same. It's just a lot of the large gray base plates just laid out in a line, and then we just tiled over them with a lot of gray tiles. And we did put the heading markers on them. This side is 30, and this side down there in front of the blue plane is 12, and that is the correct heading markers for an airport. Those are actually the heading markers of the airport right next to our house, so we just use those. The runway is the right length and width for the aircraft to work. So they still fit nicely on it. They don't look too big, they don't look too small. We still have our approach lights here and our approach markers. That's just to help guide you in, help you see how straight you are when you're flying into the runway. And the siding lights here to help you distinguish where the side is. And there is a little yellow taxiway sign there for all the general aviation aircraft. That way they know where to park. And then we move up here. And over here is where our heaviest changes were for the airport. For what we did is that in order to fit our stadium in, which is right next to the airport, we had to slide everything over, which meant we had a space right here. But that wasn't enough space for the parking garage to fit, and we still wanted the parking garage to fit. So I had to redesign the parking garage to where it fit, to where it turned and went in like that, to where it faced a different direction. And we just put it behind the airport and made a little road, like a little side road that still has road access. But it just goes back to the parking garage, and any guy that wants to go park in that, they just have to go up there and do so. And we actually added another taxi. If you can't see it, it's right behind the Coast Guard tower there. We've got our little row of taxis that are waiting for people come out of the airport. And one of the biggest things we made for the airport is that we kind of just basically tore the entire airport down and just rebuilt it back up from the start. And we made it a lot taller and a little more spacious. We used the space that we had on that base plate a little better. Because at first we had a good airport design, but we didn't take advantage of the space that we had, and that was causing us problems because we were using too much space. And our airport was starting to get small. It was being dwarfed by this baseball stadium and any other building around it. So we had to make it a little taller. But I like how it does look taller. And we managed to keep the revolving door in the front, right here. So that's still nice that we were able to keep that. We were able also to keep the jetway walkway to the aircraft that are parked there waiting for their people, and all the space back there for parking and taxiways and the helipad and all that, which is really nice. Okay, so this is the airport parking area, the fueling, loading up area for all of our aircraft. And this is actually our biggest passenger jet, and it's also our oldest one. And this is actually my favorite one, just because it is so large and it is our oldest one. It's the first jet I actually got, and we still have it today, which is nice. And we have your access to the terminal over there, the jetway, so the people coming from the terminal can get to the airplanes. And for our jetway, it does roll around, it does move around. This does kind of retract in when you lift it up and push it through. So it does move around. It's pretty mobile, like an actual jetway. When you have it retracted in, or like that, you can see that there are wheels down here and kind of like a control area, so the airport ground workers can work on it and move it around whatever the plane is. And down there at the end of the jetway, it kind of breaks off into the non-movable part, the section that's just anchored into the ground, and then you have the staircase at the end of that. And that's where you go to your walkway that goes to the door in the airport. And this is just, we have our lines here to indicate that this is the ending line of the runway. Another taxiway sign here, here, and here. This is just so you can kind of know your way around, even if it's the first time at the airport. A little parking spot for a fuel truck here. Looks like this airplane's getting its fuel. And got all our airport cars out working. They're waiting for this plane. Got the luggage guy here. He's getting all the bags put into the bottom of the plane. And we have a little helipad area there. Just kind of parking for the helicopter. All these little blue lights here. There's kind of taxiway lights, just to kind of illuminate the outside of it, so you, at night, you can still see where your boundaries are, so you don't drive off the taxiway. This area is just a little parking area for all the airport vehicles and all that. This guy looks like he's a flight line marshaller. He's directing the plane, telling him where to go. I don't think he's gonna have any much to do for a little bit. And also we have a few planes in the flight pattern. There's one over there. They're both getting ready to land. And got a cargo plane over there. He looks like he's getting ready to go on to his final. And then we have the Coast Guard plane right there. It's patrolling the seas. And the side of our terminal here. So It's got lots of windows in it, which is nice. Everybody can just sit inside the airport and watch all the airport actions that are happening around them. They can see if their flight's sitting there waiting for them or not. And it's all really nice from there. And speaking of the terminal itself, we were actually able to do a lot more with the inside. And we made it a modular again so that we can have easier access to the inside. But for the actual interior of it and all the layout, we have a lot more space with the way that we designed it. And we have a lot more seating area for people that are waiting for their flight. We still have the ticket area right here where they give the security officer their ticket before they go on their flight. We have a little airport flight listing sign there. And we have these posts here in the middle with lights on them. They're there to support the lights, to elevate the lights in the air, and they're an architectural feature. They make the airport kind of have a more architectural feel to it. It's not just a big box of glass and concrete. And for security is a lot better for this airport, mainly because there still are the metal detectors there, and the security checkpoint guy, he's going to check your tickets and your ID before you go through the metal detectors. And you have this security wall right here, and it actually goes halfway to the door. So once you go through the security area and you get onto your flight and you come back, and once you leave throughout this door here to go leave the security area, you have to go back through security to get back into the airport kind of area. And there are a couple seats in there for maybe family members that are waiting for someone to get home, so they don't have to actually have a plane ticket to wait for them. And for the baggage claim, we still have the same old setup there. They still have the conveyor belt and the scanner, see if anybody's got any things in their bags. And the conveyor belt still just goes out to a little door right here that just dumps it out into the outside where a person that works for the airport can grab their luggage. And back here at the back of the airport, where this little slot is here, that's just kind of an area. It's an empty area, it's not being used. So really, if any employees that work for the airport, they wanted to park their cars there instead of having to pay for the garage or something like that, they could just do that instead. But also, if they don't have a car, there's multiple ways to get to this airport, which is nice. It's all kind of interconnected with the traffic system. So, say you can ride the bus there, because there's a bus stop right down the street from the airport. You can take a taxi to the airport, because there are quite a few taxis in the city, and there's actually lots of people that are going to the airport today. Must be lots of flights. And down there we have our monorail station. That's our airport terminal monorail station. It does have monorail lines that go down to the suburbs and that connect to the city itself over here at our Grand Central Station. So that means that you can be anywhere in the city and just hop on a monorail and then get to the airport, because all you have to do is just come down that staircase right there and then walk along the sidewalk and you're at the airport. And we do have another video on the monorail that goes more in depth on all the stations and the monorail itself and all the transit in the city, so that link will be in the description also. We have another video on the stadium if you want to see that, because that is also integrated with the traffic transport system and all of that. That also adds more tourism to the city, so the airport has more of a role now. People are going to be flying into the airport to come see a baseball game. Maybe their team's playing or something. So check out those videos. Those links are going to be in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.